Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time. I'm Joe Madden, the Vice President of Nova Leah, and I want to introduce a new partner that we have, Voler Systems. So I want to introduce Walt McClay. He's the President and CEO of Voler Systems, and just open sort of with a question, Walt. How do you see support for your customers and for the medical device industry?
Well, thank you, Joe. Appreciate the opportunity. First of all, I want to talk about just for a moment what is happening on October 1st. It was only in March of this year that Congress passed a law that said it's no longer optional to handle cybersecurity. You've got to handle it, and you've got to be prepared to handle it post market after you sell the product. So what this law says is you need to have a plan to monitor and fix problems after the product ships out to the market. You need to have a device that is secure to begin with and able to be updated. It has to have a software bill of materials. This is a list of all the software components. And and they threw in a good one. You've got to comply with future FDA regulations that they require. So, there's been a guidance document since 2014, but this one really gets down to the heart of it, and there's no option. You've got to do these things. So, you asked about what we do for our customers. We are focused on electronic design and firmware. We particularly do IoT, wearable devices, and most of what we do is medical devices. We help customers from concept to ready for production. We do things like cybersecurity, risk analysis, V&V, and all the engineering involved in designing the product, the electronic part.
So you're more on the concept through creation.
Yes, we get you ready for production. We don't do the production.
So that's fantastic. I mean, both organizations serve the medical device industry. It's becoming more complex. Privacy is important. The evolving regulations are really, driving a lot of the behaviors. And you hit a good point there, where it's no longer a guidance; it's a mandate. You have to do it. So, without going into a ton of detail, can you talk a little bit more about the types of customers that you're working with, and maybe the stages that you've gotten involved with some of those companies, and what maybe some
Yeah.
of the principal challenges you are that overcome them?
Okay. So we work with small and large customers, with startups with one person to Fortune 500. The small ones more often need help with writing requirements, doing feasibility, meeting design control, but even some large companies need that. Uh, we we often do the verification testing after the design, but we're flexible. So sometimes the customers do that themselves. Uh, what we do that's good for all these customers is we have a team that's ready to go fast and quickly prepare you for to be into the market. Uh, if you want to develop your own team, that might take you a year, and that's a long time to wait. And some large companies may have a team, but they just don't have a big enough team for what they want to do now. I could go on for a long time about the kinds of issues that people have and how we help them, but we enjoy addressing problems and helping customers get over them.
There's going to be a new series of problems that people are going to have to really work through, and it's going to be important to have support organizations
Yeah,
such as Wohler out there to help them.
it's really cool that Nova Leah has a tool that allows you to monitor after the fact. We can set up a device so it's ready to use that tool.
If I think about Novalia, we're really positioned to help customers, take their submissions, particularly for the cybersecurity, in a one-to-one position for resolving FDA's submission requirements, as well as for the post-market requirements. Voler Systems has been in the business now for 40 years, which is a long time. How do you see, we touched briefly on it just a few seconds ago, but how do you see Novalia and Voler Systems complementing each other to leverage both our experiences to really enhance what we can bring to the medical device industry?
So we can make sure that we design a product that is uh, that meets cybersecurity, that is updatable, and that has a software bill of materials. We will also work closely with Novalia so that all these things integrate with Novalia offers so that once you get it in the market and you're monitoring it, Novalia can handle that and do it well. It's important to have partners who work closely together because you don't want to lose anything in the space between.
Yeah, nothing. Not you don't want anything to fall through the cracks,
Yes.
as it were. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fantastic. I mean, I'm looking forward to working with Voler Systems as we go forward. I think there's an awful lot that we both can leverage from each other, particularly now that these requirements are mandated. There's no guidance, there's no language that suggests otherwise. So you have to do this. It's a question of how effectively can you do it, and it's best sometimes with
And,
partners.
and as of October 1st, any application to the FDA, whether it's a 510K, de novo, or whatever, it has to meet these requirements. You've got to have a plan in place.
Absolutely. And that's going to be a challenge. In fact, I'll give a little bit of a heads up. One of the things that we'll be working together with Voler on is we're launching a webinar in November that'll talk about best practices from the design side as well as from the risk management side that will help device manufacturers be better prepared for continued compliance with the new FDA mandate. So I want to thank Walt for taking the time to be here today. We're looking forward very much to partnering with Walt and with Voler Systems on future projects, and really appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. I appreciate the opportunity to present, and we're looking forward to working with Novalia. Got a full solution between the two of us.